Oh yeah, we back, gang. All right, check this out. We got new mic. Look at this thing, professional grade mic status right now, and we got some upgrades for the guest mics as well, and for the guest booms, and things are looking up here at HEIGHT Drop Studios. So we appreciate. Just shout out everyone that's been supporting the podcast because without the love, support, and even funding from some of you guys, that there wouldn't be. We wouldn't. I don't know if we could do these upgrades. So I appreciate everyone that's been taking part. And today's episode, we got Ben Reddington from Leeds. It was really fun, wild conversation, a lot of fun stuff in this one. So let's let St. John break it down for us one more time.
I heard you got too late last night. Mix it purple with your purple Sprite. Girl, you think you wrong. I heard you saucing on them, yeah.
Woo, that's that. Too lit last night, or what is it? Lit last night. I've been super stoked on St. John. He's my favorite R&B or hip hop right now. So yeah, Ben Reddington on this one. We had a really philosophical discussion. We talked about psychedelics and our use and his exploration with some of those, and that led us down some philosophical discussions and talks about the future. And so this one's a little bit. And of course, we gloss over some parkour stuff, I'm sure, but this one's kind of a meta conversation. There's definitely a lot of abstract thinking in this one, so I hope you guys are into that. I didn't know where it was going to go, but that's how we do it on HEIGHT Drop. We keep it just raw, and I didn't have any plan as usual going into this, and so that's just where the conversation led us. Appreciate Ben wanting to come on and share some of his insights and stuff that he's done and what he's doing and where he's going. So I'll let him just go from here. And we also had a Casey and Satchel as other guests, and we had some other guys from the Try Hard Collective just joining us in studio here today. So really good vibes, good fun. I hope you guys dig this one. Real quick before we get into the episode, I just want to shout out ParkourEDU, son, which is sponsoring this episode. And if you guys have anyone that needs to learn parkour and they're not in a facility, or if they're, we talk about how there's not as many facilities out in the UK, for example. This is an online training program that, I've helped to create, alongside Amos Rendau and Ryan Ford. And these guys are the co-founders of ParkourEDU, alongside myself. And, we're really, I don't like to jerk myself off too much on this podcast, but I think that it's been really great to be involved in this project. And it is, without a doubt, as far as I can tell, the best parkour training program you can get access to online. Always there's going to be probably more to be gained if you can train in person, but not everyone can do that. And this is a super affordable way to get access to the curriculum that has worked for, not worked, but been generated over the last 12 years in Colorado. And it still gets continually updated. It's really good stuff. They just launched 2 new courses. So there's the Parkour 101 course that lays out all the fundamentals of parkour. And then there's a climb ups course and a falling ukemi or learning how to fall course that was recently put out. And I don't know if the pre-sale on that is closed yet, but there is a few potential spots only left in the falling course. And right now the climb ups course I think is still closed, but they're going to be reopening the roster or registration on that soon. But just follow the link in our description if you want to get 10% off. You'll use that young code. We're going to give you a promo code. What did I say? 10%? You're getting 15% off. You're getting that 15% off with HEIGHT Drop in the checkout. So you'll get any digital product. So any of the courses, you can buy single tutorials if you just want to learn about one thing. They're super fun, in depth. So that's my plug on that. And we thank ParkourEDU for helping to sponsor this episode of the podcast. So without further ado, gang, it's Ben Reddington. It's a couple of Try Hard Collective guys. Satchel, Casey, thank you guys all for joining me. I hope you guys enjoyed this discussion. It was a really fun one. I love thinking about these big ideas, these big abstract thoughts, and it's some of the just most interesting thing that's happening in our time today. And that's not to say that we've necessarily crest new ground, in this conversation. I mean, obviously, we aren't necessarily the most foremost thinkers on these things, but I think it's fascinating that young people like Ben and the Gremlins like Case, the Triad Collective guys, they're stoked about having these conversations too. And I think the fact that these conversations are happening at earlier ages and we're all kind of like becoming more conscious and aware. And this is kind of a theme for us. We're getting hippy dippy on this episode. I hope you like that hippy dippy shit. I'm going to grow some dreadlocks for this episode. You know what I mean? But not really. But maybe, maybe I'll just grow one fat one, just one single unkempt dread. But this stuff is permeating like through our younger generations. I don't know if it's like some resurgence from the 60s getting into like psychedelics and I don't know if it's a rebound, if it goes back and forth, or if there's significant like forward progress that we're making with these new ideas. That's kind of the fun of it, is we don't necessarily know yet how things are going to look. But it's exciting to just be a part of all this. So I hope you guys are a part of it too. If you're not, if you're like the kind of person that, shies away from these things, obviously, you got to do you. But I think there's maybe some insightful, just I don't know, maybe something in this podcast will help you be a little more open to those things, or maybe a little more closed. Who knows? But much love to you guys for listening, and enjoy this episode. Dude, yeah, we're moving up in the world, baby. Yeah. Last time you were here, it was literally that mic.
That was the only one. And then, but you had your own.
I had my own, so I was like holding it. Now I don't even have to hold my mic. I've had to hold my mic. This is the first episode where I don't have to hold my own goddamn microphone in front of my face.
Oh.
And the first episode where we have three mics like actually set up properly.
Yeah.
So you guys are getting the prestige treatment, dude. You're getting like
VIP.
This is the best High Drop Studios has ever looked, and you guys are in the mix right now. I'm stoked.
High bar to meet.
Yeah, it's high. I'm giving you guys the luxury experience.
Good.
As far as you know. But have you ever done a podcast before?
Never.
Honestly, the last time it was so fucking funny because like you had the one mic that was actually on you, and everybody else was so quiet, so you were like the booming voice of God, and we were all like,
"Oh, in the mix." I'm getting better. Mix. I'm getting better at production, but yeah, dude, that's gonna happen again. That wasn't
the mix. That was because we were all like huddled around one microphone.
But even still, yeah. Well, dude, like the way it works is like that mic has to be super sensitive because it has to pick up everyone in the room, like in this wide radius, and then. See, this is where the future is. Now I'm kind of a dick because I took the best mic, basically. I took the new mic, but this one's like super directional, so it points at me, and then it doesn't pick up as much of what you guys are doing. And then once these are kind of expensive, but hey, thanks to our supporters out there, we can afford some things rarely. And we got one upgrade in the mic. Once we get all this mic, and I'll sell those other ones to hopefully help pay for that. Then we're big chillin', dude.
Right.
Then this is like the shit that Joe Rogan uses. Boom, really? Son. I mean, I don't know. I think so.
Probably.
I mean,
it looks the same. It looks identical. They got a better stand. Like it, like completely masks the wires and stuff. But
that's how you know you're getting into it when you're like scrutinizing Joe Rogan's audio setup.
Dude, I'm ready for the next level. Always, dude. I'm taking my parkour and I'm doing it at the podcast now. Just pushing it, baby steps, just like training. I mean, everything's the same.
You got the massive investment. 3 mics.
3 mics, dude.
Rolling deep.
All I got is 3 mics. You guys see that Neil Brennan 3 mic special? Anyone like stand up? Anyways, all right. Welcome Ben Reddington to the podcast.
I'm it.
You're where are you from exactly? We actually don't.
I'm from the north of England, so Leeds.
Oh yeah.
It's about 4 hours away from London. When I tell people I'm from Leeds, they're like, they don't know where it is, especially in America.
I definitely don't.
If I just say, you know where Manchester is? A lot of people know Manchester from football. I just say I'm like an hour away from Manchester.
It's north.
Further up north,
yeah. But it's not as far up as is Liverpool above you?
Liverpool's like to the... I think the west.
The west?
Liverpool's the west. Like Manchester's
coast.
Below Liverpool. Liverpool's the west of Leeds.
And Leeds is more landlocked. It's like
slightly up.
Yeah. Okay.
East.
You guys got some big spots there, as far as I can tell, though. I mean, I see a lot of videos come out of there. I know, like, what's his name? David Nelms is like pretty big out of that area. Do you train with? He's your friend and stuff. I'm assuming.
Yeah, mainly we try. There's like it used to be a really big community because there's like down like 40 minutes from Leeds. There's a place called Huddersfield, and they had a big community as well. So there was like 20, 30 people at a time training, but now it's a lot less. It goes through like stages.
Why do you think that is?
I just think freerunning goes through stages. It's
Yeah.
like 1 minute there's tons of people training, and then the next thing you know, a year or two down the line, there's 2 or 3 people.
Yeah, it's
just
crazy how
strange.
that shit happens. I mean, well, we even experienced it. Like,
Yeah,
and
past few
Satchel
years.
obviously is back on the podcast. Thanks for coming back on, boys. Thank you both for being here. But like, we got bumped to Louisville, the gym, and like, there's still like a very big community out here.
Yeah.
But the particularly the Boulder community did 100% get split,
Yeah.
For
and
sure.
like did get like just.
I mean, for
it
the
just got-
diehards, that's not going to stop anybody.
It doesn't.
But like,
Yeah, it didn't stop like the core base like from
But like
being
those
what it
open
is. But
gyms were like 40 people deep. Like it was insane.
Really?
and it's rebuilding,
Yeah.
and there's a new community developing there now, which
Yeah.
is really cool. You know, with new people and people that we've never seen before that are really talented and all this. And
But there's two things like that. Like either you get pushed out because you get screwed over, like in terms of finding a space for your gym.
yeah,
But then sometimes it just fluctuates in popularity.
Yeah.
Which like was it that for you or?
No, well, it's not even that. I think it's just a case of, I don't even know what it was. It's just less people started coming out. Like, I think it was like a domino effect. Like, the fewer people that came out, the fewer people that wanted to come out. So as soon as numbers started to drop, everyone's like, oh, well,
Yeah.
because there's not as many of my friends doing it anymore, I'm going to stop. It's all just spiraled from there.
is it like
I
an
think
age thing?
We have a gym in Leeds now,
Okay.
but that's on in the last 2 years, I think. It's called Level Up Academy.
Oh, okay.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
But I think there's a total of like maybe 4 gyms in England.
Yeah, that's one of the things
Not
that's
many.
like the Americans have had always like just a head start on. It seems like is the facilities.
Yeah, definitely.
You know?
I feel like it's creating sort of, well, especially when I'm visiting America, it's a bit of like a gym culture sometimes. Like
Yeah, it's
sometimes
got
I meet
pros and cons,
communities.
right?
I meet communities that just sort of train in the gym.
Yeah. I mean, and that's not obviously what we tend to gravitate towards. Like,
Yeah.
and I don't necessarily frown upon it.
No,
Like,
no, everyone
ultimately,
likes
I
it.
think if you want it to grow, you're gonna have people that are more casual about it, and that's
Yeah.
fine with me. But like you said, like it creates a more stable community, but it can like hinder some people's progress if they get just coddled in the gym and then they don't wanna, or they can't figure out a way out of it.
I think partly we have so many gyms because there's space out here.
Oh, yeah.
This
like
man
in it-
space.
Like in the UK, like
Yeah, everything's so condensed.
right. We're out here
Everything's next to
Property
each other.
is, yeah, it's
We're out here
like,
complaining about how bad
It's
it is in
not-
Boulder. Like trying to make a gym in London. Fuck.
Oh, no, I can't imagine.
oh
so
yeah,
expensive.
it blows my mind that that's where the chain store is. Like that's probably
Yeah.
the oldest one, right?
I've never even been to the chain store.
Oh, really?
Is that right near the centre?
I've been
as
in
well?
a chain store twice, man.
I know.
What the fuck's going on here?
Yeah.
I barely actually take the trip up to London. I just down to London even. I just for 4 hours for someone that lives in England just feels like a lifetime. I say that, but I come to America.
like 15
spend
hours
3
to get
months
here,
in
though, right?
America. Yeah,
From
I mean,
Missoula.
I drove from Missoula as well, which is like 12,
Oh,
13
shit.
hours. But I won't drive to London. I think part of it is as well. Like I tell the guys from London as well. Leeds as like Yorkshire as a spot because Leeds is a part of Yorkshire, and Yorkshire as a whole has so many spots.
Oh
And
yeah.
I feel like a lot of places in England are missing out on some of the places from Yorkshire.
Yeah. Because all the
Shame.
like South England places are so close together.
Yeah.
Like they like tend to stick around. that
Yeah,
area.
but
Can you-
it's the same for us in the
Sorry, I
north.
don't want to
Sorry,
interrupt. Can
yeah.
you put that just like in more in your face if you have to? I'm sorry, guys.
It was good when I wasn't facing you, but now that I'm trying to.
Yeah, just
Yeah, there
lean.
you go.
There you go.
Is that
There you
better?
go. Yeah, that's better.
Safe.
That way, if you have to like turn your head, you turn it towards the mic. I'm real conscious of the listening experience, guys.
Yeah.
That's tight, dude. So how long have you been training from Leeds then,
Oh,
or out of Leeds?
roughly about 10 years now, I think, maybe a bit longer. I lose track. I think it's about 10 years. But I feel like I go through stages where sometimes I just drop off. Well, especially when I was like 18, 19, and like really started getting into going out drinking and stuff like that.
That'll get you.
It's just dropped off. But that's exactly what happened with a lot of the people from Huddersfield that used to train with us
Yeah.
because they were still at a young age when they discovered drinking going out. So I just dropped off. And it's
Yeah.
harder to get when you sort of create like a social life outside of parkour. Like if you're used to going out every weekend with these people,
Mm-hmm.
then it sort of takes a back seat. As I
Yep.
found happen quite a lot with the younger people.
Yeah, that's a huge thing, right? I mean, I don't know. That's kind of what like dipped me out of when I used to skateboard when I was like much younger. I was like probably around the time you started parkour is when I was like 13 or 12
Yeah.
when I was doing a lot of skating. And then I remember my friend broke his wrist. Like the summer we were like, all right, we're gonna fucking just skateboard all summer. Like it was literally the last day of school, and he broke his wrist trying a front handspring of all things. Like, and so then my best skating buddy couldn't skate, and then like I was like, oh, I guess it's weird like how that like that tiny little thing. Like I loved skateboarding, but just having no one to go with, all of a sudden I started getting interested in girls and
makes a big difference.
Drinking and going out and can't say it was
spirals,
like,
doesn't it?
I mean, yeah. I mean, yeah. You are who your friends are in some ways, right? So I started hanging out with people that are just going out and drinking more, and
just get sucked into
at
the
13
culture.
especially, or 14, like I felt like that was really fun. That's what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
But
same shit happened to the Grims.
It happens to everybody. I mean, it's and I don't know what your experience is. Like obviously you came back into training.
Yeah, well, I felt like I didn't take that much of a time out of it. Like I just went through, like I'd go out like a Friday, Saturday when I was younger, and then I'd still tried to commit to going training, but the progress just was not there anymore. Like I came training, I just felt like hazed all day. All the stuff that I thought I could do before just felt like such a hard work. So I think then I just thought I need to start choosing now, like choosing times to go out and go drinking, because I actually want to progress in parkour and I want to keep doing it.
Yeah. That's kind of what got me out of that lifestyle as well.
Yeah.
And I started jumping around and I got really into parkour. I basically, I'd been snowboarding and stuff like this during like high school and college, but I hadn't really applied myself or tried to as an athlete since I was in high school or before high school. And then when I was like, all right, I'm getting older and I have this thing, I don't want to be hungover. I don't want to be, like I want to be doing things in my life that mean more to me than just, all right, another
drinking.
night out on Friday, another night out on Saturday, whatever. And same thing.
Yeah, I think it gets boring quick. They got the whole drinking culture. I mean, don't get me wrong. I still get hammered quite a lot now, but a lot less than I did when I was back then. It was like every Friday, Saturday. I mean, sometimes even through the week.
Oh yeah.
So, and that was with a job or going to college. But now I can't do it anymore.
Yeah.
Not gonna aim me.
Too old already?
Yeah, 24? I think so. I know.
Sober? No, I think it's a huge issue. Like I think I've definitely struggled with certain, just tendencies to go out and party, especially if you get injured or like if training becomes an obstacle, if you're demotivated, like it's an easy place to put your energy that at least in the short term feels like it has like some rewards. Yeah. But yeah, like you said, like it gets old quick if it's not who you really are. And like I don't think there's anything wrong with some people that really that's what they want to do. I don't think it's a good road. Like eventually it just kind of leads nowhere for most people. Like you have to have something outside of that. But a lot of people have like their friend circle, that's all they care about, and it's tough. It's tough if that's not you, that's all. I don't know. Some people I feel like it works for them somehow.
I was just thinking about like how it's actually different in England a little bit than the
it
US.
must be super different, right? Because the drinking age is like 16 or
18. Yeah. 18. But I think the rule is legally you're allowed to drink from the age of 13, 14 on your own property if your parents are all right.
I think that's much healthier.
Yeah, because it sort of teaches, eases you into it. You got
in and out in what, a matter of a few years, basically.
Yeah,
you're just like drinking anyway,
experiencing it, and then get the fuck out. Like that's like I think why I stuck around too long, maybe, or like I started so early, but they didn't have nice trickling in of like getting accustomed to it.
Yeah,
like my drinking experience at like 13 was get shit faced.
Yeah,
like when I puked, that's when I knew I probably had too much, and then I can taper off from there. But it's probably, I think it would be better if there was maybe a little less. Well, for me, I think it would have been better if I was like introduced to it in a more like conscious setting, in a way that like parents are on board with you doing it. When it's like, no, it's absolutely not okay until you're 21. Obviously, everyone that I ever met broke those rules, and then it becomes faulty, like muddled. Like you can't decipher like when you're actually like. Or it's harder to decipher, I'd say, as a young person, between like, all right, here's what I should be drinking, here's what I shouldn't be drinking, here's like, I don't know. It's an easy way to develop unhealthy habits.
Yeah, although there's plenty of unhealthy habits in the UK. Like,
yeah,
I don't think it prevents that much.
That's true.
Maybe it gets out of the system faster, but like,
nah, I don't think that. I think it's just
maybe not. Yeah,
like,
maybe not.
In an innate sense with humans, I think we're all the people our age are just pretty much the same. They go for the same sort of
Right, it doesn't matter
getting
what the
hammered
laws
at
are. Like,
13,
you're gonna
getting...
do.
No, I feel kind of like everyone finds their way to the same end if they'd grown up in whatever culture. It seems like they kind of might have done the same path.
Right.
Yeah.
They're going around the rules or they're going with them. But if you wanted to like land as an alcoholic, like you're gonna do that. Or if you know, were gonna get in and out quickly, or if you were never gonna drink. I mean, some people are very aware early on. They're like, yeah, it's not for me. Some people never drink or do drugs or whatever, and they're never even called to do that. But I don't know.
It's just person,
I think it's
person to person.
It's person to person, right? It's weird because I think everyone has to go through that phase almost. And it's weird because sometimes it looks, I think I'm glad I went through it when I was younger. You know, when I started at 13, that's not a good idea, but I'm kind of glad I got it out of my system early.
Yeah.
But but also when you're developing, it stays in your system longer, I think too. So it's like maybe I wouldn't recommend it to someone as young as I was. Because it's like developing, your formative years become around that drinking, and then
and then that's it. That's your social life. That's that is your hobby.
Tough.
It becomes your hobby.
It becomes your hobby, exactly.
Definitely. Another feeling. But I would say that, I mean, even on the weekend now, like especially when I'm injured, like I've recently just had an ankle injury, and I just sort of got sucked into going out every Friday, Saturday again. Just happens. I think it's just because my social groups that I don't hang around with, like in Parkour, like to get pretty hammered. just sort of ease into it.
I mean, who doesn't like? I mean, it's a good time too.
Yeah.
I mean, like, let's not like it's there for a reason. It's tempting for a reason, right? But I
don't think it's all bad. That's the thing. I think if anything, if you haven't done or you don't do it, you might be missing out on something that. So I think that changes the ways you think about things. I think not just alcohol. Obviously, I'm talking about other substances as well.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, you had mentioned, or one of you guys had mentioned, you're looking at maybe doing like an ayahuasca ceremony soon, right?
Yeah, I'm heading to Colombia on the 10th of December, and then hopefully I'm going to stay in Colombia and train with the guys there for maybe 1 or 2 months, and then head down to Peru, and that's where I'm hoping to do the ayahuasca retreat.
Tight move.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of this like new phase, not phase, but
Like
there's a lot more
awakening.
People are getting woke these days.
Yeah, definitely.
And I mean, like, what drew you to that? Like, how did you get into this?
Well,
what I assume is going to be your first experience with it.
Last time I travelled, I was taking like mushrooms. Especially in Thailand, regular. I was having like mushroom shakes and stuff. And then when I got home, it sparked my interest in it. And then I really started going maybe a bit too deep into it. I was taking like the Terence McKenna's famous heroic dose. I was like taking 5 grams of dried magic mushrooms, and some of the experience none of them, they weren't all good. No, like definitely weren't all good. If anything, I've probably had more bad experiences than good ones.
Really?
But I've learned more from the bad ones than I have from the good ones. But when you're in that position, it's so scary.
Oh my God. Can you give us a
when I first did the heroic one, this wasn't a scary one, but I came back like it was like an epiphany. But the first 5 gram, like the heroic dose, I was like, I wanted to do it properly, so I turned everything off. I locked myself in my room, turned my lights off, took the 5 gram.
Were you by yourself?
Yeah, just by myself. Closed my eyes because I wanted to experience like really deep into the subconscious sort of thing.
I mean,
and it was like, it was so weird. Like time disappeared, space disappeared. It was like, only way I could describe it is like complete whiteness, and it was me stood opposite, like an exact clone of me, telling me what I've done wrong in my life, what I need to change. And my friends still laugh to this day because I rang them up at like almost like towards the end of the trip, and I was like, guys, I've done the heroic dose, and I've decided I'm gonna have to go to like help some refugees or something because I've been so selfish the last few years. And they were just absolutely pissing themselves. And to this day, they still laugh about it. So it was a pretty intense experience. But then I keep getting like a reoccurring thing where I take them and I feel like I've like pissed my pants. I don't know what it is, but even when I smoke too much weed, the exact same thing happens. I feel like my whole body's just wet.
Really?
And that's what puts me off the most. No, you just feel it's just the heat's coming. There's not much heat coming off your body. It just feels like everything's wet.
Okay, actually, I kind of understand.
And it's a horrible feeling.
Jeez, yeah. So, is that like a what? It seems like you've gained a lot. Obviously, you kept diving into it.
Yeah.
You said maybe a little too deep. Like, what do you feel like was the line that you're like, all right, maybe I'm going too forward with this? And also, like, what continues to draw you in?
Well, I just started to get like it. At first, it was just because my mates never did it. And when I came back from Thailand, I was like, but in Thailand, the mushroom shakes are nothing like, nowhere near the heroic dose. They're like,
it's casual.
Slight visuals.
I don't know about this. Thailand has, is it a touristy thing there?
I think it's illegal, but because
Not
on the
touristy,
island
but-
there's not many police or anything. They have bars where they just sell mushroom shakes.
Oh, okay.
It's like Red Bull they're like wet mushrooms from the mountains. So they're quite expensive, but when you have them, it's only like slight visuals. And to me, someone that's I've been taking like drugs for a while, and I was interested in that because I just liked how you felt on them. And then when I got home, I was like, oh mate, I said to all my friends, I was like, you need to try these mushrooms. And then they started trying it, and then slowly we started adding more and more amounts to it. And it got pretty bad. Like after quite a few trips, I just got really nervous all the time. Like the last one I had was just before I left England, and at first it was really good. We were walking down a canal, and then we would come back in the dark, and I swear to God there was a dog chasing me for like a good half an hour, and I was running around because I was 100% sure there was a dog behind me chasing me.
Oh my God.
And I think it's just because I've got into that mind frame now. My brain always goes to that same place. So it's a bit scary, the idea of doing the ayahuasca, but...
Have you done anything besides mushrooms?
LSD.
Okay.
Yeah. But other than that, I was going to do DMT, but yeah, I thought I'd save it for the ayahuasca because that's the...
It's the same.
Well,
yeah, it's the same.
Similar
it's like
active ingredient or whatever. I'm not, I should be more well versed on it, but there's like the 5-MeO, DMT, and then there's like a different iteration of it, and then there's like there's a few different iterations of DMT.
There's like the synthesized stuff in it, and then there's the stuff from the bark and the plants and the forest.
And the toads and the you know of the. I mean, it's a fascinating molecule. Like I definitely think that people end up in that spot if they want to explore psychedelics and they keep going further and further down it. How did you arrange this ayahuasca ceremony in Peru? And then
but I've not even arranged it yet.
Oh, you just know that's what the intention is.
Yeah, it's just I've read up on it, and it's just quite a common thing. Like obviously you need to find a good shaman. You can't just be sat in some random hut.
Yeah.
So that's not what I want to experience.
Is there any specific like questions you want answered, or you just know that you've gained a lot from magic mushrooms, and then now you're looking to get more perspective, or
I don't know what it is. I don't know what the main question I'm looking for. It's I don't know. I just feel like everyone's got like this thing in the back of the head where they just know there's something deeper, and I'm not sure what it is. But for a long time, especially since I've started taking hallucinogenics, that feeling just got so much stronger. And I just feel like I need to.
Is it like
I want to view the person driving, like view the subconscious driving the conscious, that sort of thing. But then when you start speaking like you sound like really spiritual.
It's hard not to,
types.
right?
But that's not what I am. But I'm just interested in like psychology and the brain, and I just want to. Even like famous psychologists are talking about it. So there's obviously something to learn from it.
Yeah, big time. And they're doing a lot of clinical trials with magic mushrooms and I don't know if they're doing stuff with DMT, but I mean, they've done stuff with LSD. I don't know all the literature on it and stuff like this, but I just know that it's going through these clinical trials now. And, you know, there's a lot of benefit people are finding, certain people for treatment of it. And then obviously people don't necessarily even like you're not trying to treat an ailment or like a depressive state or anything like this.
I just want to experience the back end of my mind, if you could say that.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what you refer it to as. What you refer it to as.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, there's. I don't really either. I wish I could.
I wish you could put it into words.
I wish I could put it more into words. But yeah, I mean, I'm also interested in doing an ayahuasca ceremony in Peru, if I could. My mom's actually from Peru.
Really?
Yeah.
That explains like the hats.
The hats.
You used to always wear those like Peruvian hats.
I had those Peruvian hat life. Yeah.
That's like an early memory.
Heritage, baby.
Yeah.
I mean, it just so happens that like Peru's a good, a epic spot or like a well-known spot for ayahuasca, and it's maybe the origin for a lot of these like ceremonies.
Yeah.
But for me, it's like fascinating because I'm like, all right, I've already been there to just visit, but now like I'm also like intending to go revisit and do something like that too.
Sick.
So maybe you can hit me up with the details.
Yeah, I'll have to have a look around when I get there. To be fair, if when I'm in Colombia, if the experience comes to me, then I'd end up doing it somewhere else. It's not like fixed in Peru, but that's the place that I'd like to do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, they do them all over South America, don't they? So if the opportunity came to me without me searching, then I'd be more inclined to just do it there and then.
Yeah.
Sort of call it out to me.
Are you going with anybody, or is it?
No, just on my own.
Solo
Solo.
journey.
What's the community like down there?
Well, in Colombia, I think it's pretty big. I follow a few guys from down there, and they seem to have a pretty big community.
Cool.
But I've not really searched anywhere else. I know Brazil's got one,
Right.
but I don't know if I'm going to make it as far as Brazil. Going through all my money too fast here.
Yeah. How long's this trip you've been on?
So far, I've been in America 5 weeks maybe.
It's just been America so far?
Yeah. And I've got another, until my visa runs out, so another 2 months, and then Colombia.
Gotcha.
Yeah. That's good, yeah.
Beast mode. Sorry, just to take it back to the psychedelics and stuff real quick. So are you you're going to continue to experiment with mushrooms as well, or are you?
Well, I think
Because I feel like
I've almost got to a point where I think if I try the ayahuasca and I sort of find what I'm not really searching for anything. I'm just interested in what I'm going to see.
Just gaining more perspective, just new.
Yeah, so
New insight.
If I take that, then and I get home, I just might decide that I don't want to experiment with them anymore.
No, I feel you, and that's kind of why I even asked. Is like I feel like I've experimented with these things as well, and I'm just after certain dosages, it feels like you said, like you're like, all right, now I'm having more bad experiences than good, or if you don't pay attention to that, even with marijuana and stuff like this, like I think there's so much every plant maybe can teach you, and again we're getting spiritual or whatever, but there's like a certain like intelligence to all these plants, and that's kind of like interacting with them helps you see that intelligence, or like if you feel like that deeper thing is a oneness with all life, or a oneness. I mean, even scientifically speaking, we're all like related, right? We all have this common ancestor, plants and humans and everything else, dating back millions of years or billions of years. So you're just learning more about this other perspective of life, a plant's perspective of life, or a plant's intelligence about how the way the universe works. And then like at a certain point, I mean, I felt the same way where I'm just like, I should probably take it back. I've learned all I need to learn for the time being, at least, and then when you don't, and alcohol is the same way. I would put alcohol in the same realm.
Yeah, definitely.
Where like, that one was really easy for me to make an unhealthy dosage because you get some perspective, and then also you just get wasted and you make bad decisions, and that's part of the fun of it, is letting your inhibitions go, letting your judgments kind of like loosen up. But any one of them,
it's not always like inherently euphoric.
Psychedelics is very different than alcohol. I'm just saying, like, even alcohol is a drug that seems to, I mean, it's a conscious, it alters your perspective and your consciousness in some way, right? It's a mind altering drug.
I feel like the common thread is they all kind of teach you a different thing about how your brain actually works that you weren't aware of before. Like, to me, the way I think about visuals when I'm tripping is like, it's the pattern finding that your brain is always doing, like trying to look for shapes and recognize things, but just dialed up so that like the threshold for what gets counted as like seeing something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like all of these chemicals are already existing in your brain, or analogs of them, right? Like the drug wouldn't do anything to your brain if your brain wasn't built to respond to that, right?
No, it's
like we have cannabinoid receptors in our brain that came first.
Yep.
It just so happens that like THC happens to stimulate that.
Yeah.
But all of these things already exist in your brain. They're like in some way normal brain functions that just get like pushed.
Yeah, heightened.
Yeah. So what you were saying about like trying to discover like what's actually happening deeper in there.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of literally true.
Yeah. Yeah. What's can I ask like what's like the biggest thing you might have learned with working with psychedelics up until this point?
I had a bad experience once where I was in Amsterdam, and it wasn't even off mushrooms, it was off truffles. But because me and my friends
Truffles.
the truffles, the ones that
Yeah.
And it wasn't, well, it was probably one of the worst experience I had, but it wasn't like visually, it was just like something trapped in my head. So because me and my friends had been experimenting with mushrooms already, when we went to Amsterdam, we're like, oh, we might as well get like the strongest box and one box each.
Yeah.
So we had some of that, and then we also had some other stuff when we went out, like on the night out. And then when I got home, everything felt like it had worn off. I didn't feel any effects of any drugs. And I went to sleep, and I woke up in the middle of the night, and there was like 1,000 voices in my head, like whispering stuff to me. And I can't decipher what they were saying, but it was just like, it was almost like I couldn't get any silence because there was just loads of people in my head.
Whoa.
And I woke up and asked my friends, I was like, are you experiencing what I'm experiencing? And they were like, no, I don't know what you're talking about. And I was thinking, fuck, I think I've actually gone insane. I was
God.
I actually thought to myself, if I wake up in the morning and these voices are still in my head, I think I've cracked. And then from then on, I was just like, I started seemed scared. I was less scared of anything else but going insane. So like all the fears I had sort of just disappeared in the morning. The only fear I had was going insane.
Yeah.
So it was like by far the worst thing that could happen to someone, like losing their mind. I don't think I've never really been scared of death too much.
Yeah.
But that really made me less scared of death, because I thought, if that happens to you, it's game over. There's no coming back from stuff like that.
No.
It's like give me a lot more respect for people that are in a difficult position.
Yeah.
Especially stuff like that.
A lot of bad trips start that way, though. Just like being afraid of losing control. Because like in some way, the worry about going insane is like the absolute worst version of losing control.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Well, and if you have, dude, there's so much to say about it. It's like there's people that have that proclivity. And I think I read like recently that there's like among people who smoke marijuana or use psychedelics, there's the same frequency like per capita, or like the percentage of people that have like schizophrenia or whatever is the same across drug users and non-drug users.
Yeah.
But if you have that propensity, if you have like a genetic disposition to lose your mind or whatever, or if you're in this state of mind where you're fragile or something, it can be the wrong thing to do. And obviously we ain't doctors out here, so we're like, we've all experimented with it, and hopefully we're all okay, but no, I've had similar things where I'm just like, oh my god, that's like the worst fear. And especially when you're tripping, like that can easily spiral out of control. But again, what I learned when I was on a really heavy trip once was like, for me, like I had to let go of that. I actually had to surrender to it, and just kind of, that's the only thing that let it balance out and like go away, and I felt calm again. Was
that seems like the only way to get rid of it. It's just, you've got to just let it happen. I suppose that sort of teaches you something as well. It just means just to go with the flow of things. When you come back around, you think all the things you worry about usually, there's no point in worrying about it. If you can't change them, then why are you worrying in the first place anyway?
Exactly.
And that's what mushrooms teach you 100%. Or psychedelics.
Right. It's not the mushrooms teaching you, it's how you respond to it.
You learn about yourself, and you that's again, it reflects your experience of how you experience the mushrooms or how you experience ayahuasca. You can digest and chew on that for a while and understand like, oh, this is the way my consciousness is working, and maybe there's something I can do to respond in a healthier way, or maybe there's something I can do to just know that it's going to be okay, and like my fears are probably unfounded, and there's no reason to dive into them.
Yeah, definitely.
I need to probably just accept them and move forward, because I've learned something. I've learned the exact same shit.
Are the truffles also psilocybin?
So
it's the same.
The thing with the truffles in Amsterdam is, at one point mushrooms were illegal in Amsterdam, but because all the tourists kept on going over, taking the mushrooms, and obviously some of them were going a bit insane because they're not used to any sort of psychedelics. So Amsterdam banned them all. And I actually watched a documentary, and I don't know the exact numbers, but they give like all the mushroom farmers, I think 2 weeks to get rid of all the mushrooms. So apparently there's like queues and queues of people outside these farms waiting to get mushrooms.
Oh wow! It's legal up there.
Truffles are legal.
Truffles are legal, but they have this psilocybin active.
Mushrooms used to be legal, and then they had to change them to truffles.
Interesting.
So truffles are like the things before the mushroom spores. It's like sort of a mutated mushroom that just goes in the
is that you?
In the ground. And then that's the truffle, the bit that before it spores into a mushroom, it like sort of spores in the ground. And usually it'd be a defected one, they'd throw it away if they were looking for mushrooms. But now they just grow for them.
Oh, wow.
Because they're supposed to be less potent, I guess. But you can still get pretty fucked up on it.
If anything, you take enough of it. Yeah, it's a wild shit out there. Use responsibly, folks. And I do not abdicate. I am not a person that you should listen to about that. You gotta listen to yourself.
Advice.
But I think it's fascinating that like a lot of us are experimenting with this kind of stuff, especially in our generation, and finding benefit to it. And yet it's still like this really
like a taboo.
Yeah, exactly.
Not really spoke about
thing, but it doesn't seem like anyone that we hang out with or respect or know, or the culture of people isn't necessarily against it. It's like this weird thing where
like the younger culture they don't really frown upon like self-exploration with psychedelics, but the older culture, like, to be fair, even my mum and dad, like they know like that I take hallucinogenics, but I just sat them down and explained exactly what I'm doing with them, and they were like, oh well, fair enough. We can't really argue with someone that wants to learn more about themselves.
What
are you supposed to say to someone? Do you want to just learn something?
Yeah, and I think that's part of the problem is like when you can't even bring that up because there's such a stigma about it, then your parents or authoritarians or whoever it's going to be is going to not even be able to interpret and like see what you're doing as maybe a healthy course of just learning, self-development, but they'll just immediately be like, oh, you piece of shit, you know? And then for them people then that hear that message over and over again, when they start experimenting with these things and realize that they're not pieces of shit necessarily, they're not like they're valuable experiences. It builds even more distrust with like the people that are delivering those messages. It puts people, you know, in the position where they're like, all right, well now I can't trust anything that's being said from, you know, about drugs from like authority or whatever. I don't know.
Oh yeah, when you're like a 15-year-old kid and you drink for the first time, and you don't die, then you're like, all right,
it just seems
fucking like,
yeah, exactly.
Then like all the trust goes out the window.
Exactly, and I don't know. It's just weird. I understand it, but it's also just like, why do we have to like bullshit our kids for so long before, you know? I don't know. It just seems strange.
They think if you make them scared enough, they won't do it.
Yeah.
And obviously some people do fuck their lives up, but like I think we all said, I think you're almost destined to anyways. I don't know if it's going to be, I don't think it's going to be helpful to not be able to have the conversation.
Yeah, definitely.
I think what gives you like the best, like look at like sex ed or something.
Yeah.
Like the people who are screwing up themselves that way are the ones who didn't have sex ed as kids. Like
exactly.
You need to have some kind of awareness about this. Like if you don't want people.
The more you know, ding, ding, ding. Remember those commercials?
No.
The more you know or whatever.
Well, shit, I'm old. You, but you can play
this is some fucking like 90s. You guys are probably just too young, but
I was there.
Super 90s, early 90s maybe then.
Okay.
Maybe it was just they have these NBC commercials where they have celebrities come in and just like deliver some trivia or some facts about like, did you know?
And that was a commercial?
They were like public service announcements. Oh. So it was like it would be like on somewhat controversial topics sometimes like this, but not really. Nothing. It was mainstream television, so they wouldn't really touch anything, but they would just be like, I don't know. They just give you a fact, and then the more you know.
Got it. All right. Reference noted.
Hey, there's people out there that are gonna get that. They're gonna be like, yeah, I fucking remember. I remember that shit. That was the shit.
Anyone?
None of these guys. None of these guys. Some of the listeners, maybe. Some of the older listeners.
We just have like a live audience.
We do got a live audience in the mix.
Switching up the format now.
Yeah, we're just flying by the seat of our pants. Aiden Lieb strolled in, ran like out of nowhere. What up, Aiden? Kian and Casey, big chillin'. If anyone needs to get up on this mic, you know, just you guys can swap out. Yeah, I mean,
we might need just a live audience mic just for some, you know, like laughter. In the
yeah. I want some applause and I want some
cue cards.
Want some laughter.
Welcome our guest.
That's such a good laugh track.
Mike picked that up.
Oh, it did.
Good.
What can I ask you about your tattoo here? This is pretty sick.
This one's a cover up actually.
Oh yeah.
It was the first time I got a tattoo. My dad hates tattoos as well. He absolutely despises them. But I got a bamboo one in Thailand on my foot, and after that I was like, do you know what? I fancy getting my full leg done. Yeah. And my friend came to visit. My friend and his girlfriend were in Thailand at the same time. And it just happened it was like the worst monsoon Thailand had seen in 15 years. So there's nothing to do. And my mate wanted to get a tattoo as well. So I just thought, now's probably the time. I probably rushed into it, in all honesty. I don't know why I had such an obsession with having my whole leg done before I went home.
Hell yeah.
So I was like, I think I did like 3 or 4 10-hour sessions.
Jesus.
And by the end of it, even the tattoo guy, by the end of it was like, I actually fell asleep drawing a bit up here, and he ended up drawing a line down my leg. He was like falling asleep as he was doing my tattoo. But he wouldn't let me stop. I was going to say, I was like, oh, come on, mate. You can just do it tomorrow. He's like, no, please let me do it. Please let me do it.
Just want to get over with.
So I was like, fine then. All right.
Wait, so you have like a straight line?
No. It was all getting covered up anyway. It was like the beginning.
Oh, yeah.
It was like, so, but then the thing underneath the knee was just pretty terrible. Like that was one of the last things as well. So I think the work slowly got worse as he got up the leg.
Oh, nice.
So the one on the knee was just, it was bad. So and the only thing I could get to cover it up was this swirl.
Yeah.
I was going to get it all blacked out, which I still might do. I mean, I probably got a lot more tattoos
I mean,
to
that's
come.
big. That's bigger where you're from. I think in parts of England and London right now is the tattoo
black.
scenes. It's like, big full black.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like more modern. This like interpretation of it. There's like a little bit less of that out here, but
When you say bamboo tattoo, like was the
Like
bamboo the needle?
The hand poked. Yeah, it was made like the bamboo was the stick, but the needle was on the end of the bamboo.
is that extra painful or
so,
different? At all different than the?
So it's just
I think
a
if
normal
anything-
poke, right?
Yeah, well, it's just a normal hand poke, so I don't know why they all call it bamboo tattoos, really, because it's just hand poke tattoos. But yeah, that was less painful. But to be fair, like, because I've got all my sides done and my ribs and my chest done. And like when I was younger and people used, because I never used to want to get tattoos. And when people used to tell me about having tattoos and how painful they were, I was like, whatever you say, they're not painful. And then when I first, these weren't too bad, but when I started going up here, I just thought to myself, I've never felt a pain like it in my life.
Jesus.
It's like, I had like 7 hours on my ribs and they're supposed to be like one of the most tender places. And after, because you book a 7-hour session, and originally I was going to book a Saturday and a Sunday, 7 hours each. And even the tattoo guy was like, "You're not going to do that." And I just assumed, I was like, "Oh, yeah, it's not that bad. I'll do it." And then like an hour into the 7-hour session on my ribs, I was ready to go home.
Yeah.
And obviously I didn't. I just stuck it out. Sorry. And
No pun intended.
it was bad.
Jesus, dude. Damn,
So,
dude. Well,
Yeah,
you get in a full bodysuit. You're just going.
Yeah, there's
fucking,
probably going to be a lot more. To come. I don't know about a full body. I'll probably have like the whole of my left leg, all my front, all my back. Maybe my right arm.
Nothing on your face or neck yet.
No, I ain't got the balls for that. Like even I know they're not supposed to be frowned upon or anything, but they're even now in England they're definite job stoppers.
Yeah,
Like,
it's so strange because it seems like it's maybe in our generation that'll go away.
Yeah,
But
I'm hoping
maybe not, because you still have to cater to, depending what industry you're in, you might need to.
I've seen a few people like in like professional situations with like above the collar tattoos.
Yeah.
For sure.
It's getting more normalized.
Who's the boss really? Because
if they're the boss.
Yeah, because my dad hates tattoos, and I even said to him when I had all my tattoos done.
What does he hate about them? Like, do you know? Can you understand
He's just got
where it comes
an
from?
old mentality of it. Like,
Yeah.
like the older people just view it as, obviously older people have tattoos as well, but a lot of them just view it as like thuggish or like gangs. It's just such a
It sort of is like
outdated-
flexing in a way, like because you're like, I don't need that fucking job, I guess
true.
if it comes with attitude, and there's obviously long histories like tying it to very different like things. Like I'm sure there's like tons of indigenous culture stories that like have way different meaning than like a prison tattoo or something like this.
Yeah,
but
definitely. Yeah, like in Japan, it's really, really frowned upon. Like if you have a tattoo, people look
In Japan?
down. Yeah, because it's
so
big
strange.
gang culture. Like all the gangs have
when
tattoos,
they have like
full
huge,
bodies.
Yeah, and they have like a really, really like famous styling. Like Japanese tattooing has become like it's a very like sought after, even
Even
style
now,
of tattoo.
like it'll probably never be outdated. The Japanese style. Still, people get into this day.
The distaste, the disgust of it almost drives like the people to do it. It's weird like that, the way it works.
You tell people not to do things.
Yeah, they're gonna do it.
Oh my God.
Do it.
Had a Mormon family reunion. First one since like everybody was growing up. I've never seen so much drinking.
Oh my God.
Oh my.
You know what? It is fascinating because I just heard that statistic, and I was visiting Salt Lake City, and like they actually have apparently the highest like levels of like LGBTQ community or whatever. Like it's one of the most prominent cities, and it's weirdly, I think it has to do again with like this. Maybe not. I don't know how human beings work, but it's just like they're so conservative for so long that all of a sudden it pushes out like even more rebellion against it. It seems like
I hadn't heard that, but that's totally plausible to me. Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean,
you have to know. Yeah,
they got like hired. What's the funny one? Oh yeah, pornography. Like of course, of course they just love their porn.
Yeah. It's just, oh man, it's so strange. And like for me going to Burning Man this year, I felt like the same thing. Just witnessing Burning Man, I was like, how suppressed is our society that this has to exist? And I think it's great that it exists and like all these things like are expressed, because ultimately like you can't stop humanity. We're gonna fucking express all these things. Like they are human, like they're innate to us or whatever.
Yeah.
So like they have to come out, but it's weird how they come out and like they almost like jettison up like of certain vents. Like once they find an escape valve, it like comes out here, instead of more of like a more permeating, just constant across, I mean, that makes it more interesting, I guess, if everyone was kind of this neutral,
I think
this neutral mapping across.
A lot of it comes down to the way humans behave in large groups versus in small groups. Because once it gets into like a large enough group, everybody has the incentive to be neutral in some way.
Yeah.
But then when you're like in a group of like peers or something like Burning Man, that's even like small enough, even though that's huge.
Yeah.
But like, or as individuals, people want to express themselves in wild ways and totally like deviate.
Yeah.
But as soon as you get large enough groups of people, deviating becomes deviating. Like there's something to deviate from.
Yeah.
But like, if you're just talking about like people, hunter-gatherer societies, like they were just being themselves. Like who knows what they were getting up to? Like,
yeah, man. Oh man, it's fascinating.
Like if we could know what was happening back then, I'm sure.
Time machine, man. When's the time machine's coming? I want to know.
There's probably some kinky motherfuckers back. Oh my god.
We got to suppress time travel, so then someone comes
Suppress
out and invents that shit. Yeah.
Yeah. Make a law against anything that you
make a law against time
to...
travel, and then we'll immediately just someone from the fucking future will come through a portal and just be like, "You guys shouldn't have done that. Now you got to. We got to alter history."
Facts. I mean, you prohibit alcohol, you get like really good distillery technology all of a sudden because you need to like hide the alcohol.
True.
Come on.
Innovation, baby.
Incentives are powerful.
Oh man.
Pause. You want to swap somebody with me?
We got a swap. Coming in.
Who's
Anyone
going?
else want to join in?
Rochambeau.
We've had a good 45 minutes already. We're big chilling.
All right, okay, so let's get it.
We don't gotta.
I'm just editing clips.
Oh, you're just editing. Thanks for coming on, Satchel.
Yeah, good.
Boys,
Mic check.
any questions from the audience? No. These guys, the boys are big chilling. Oh yeah, come up on it. The closer you are, the better. Yeah.
Are we good?
Like,
all right,
sit back in the corner.
Wait, can you tilt it
Towards
like
me?
away from your face? Almost actually.
Like, just lean over this way.
No, like rotate the mic
More vertical.
this way. Like,
Just
take
like
it.
that?
Yeah, exactly. There you go.
How's that?
That's perfect. I guess. Bring it closer to your mouth.
Sounding good.
Yeah. There you go.
All right, we're ready to go.
I'm gonna leave that all in, by the way.
Perfect.
This is how I do it. I don't have time.
This is always
off the
raw.
cuff.
Yeah, we get one raw, baby. It's always raw out here
No
because
need for editing.
we don't have to bullshit the audience.
They got to see what's going down.
They got to see what's going down.
It's real life.
They're rolling with the punches with us,
Dude,
just
shit
like
happens.
life, man. We got the highs and the lows. You know what I'm saying?
You know?
This is a
I feel that,
metaphor.
I feel that.
So we're stoked to have you. What do you think of America now that you're coming through?
I love it. Actually, the only thing about America is it's just so hard to travel, especially if you're not renting a car. Even if you've got a car, everything's so far apart. And it hasn't got much of a hostel culture. So if you can't find somewhere to stay, the hostels are coming at like hotel prices, like 30, 40 pounds a night. And if you used to travel in Europe or Asia, it's like £6 a night for a room. And the only good thing about America, well, obviously a lot of good things about America, I don't want to say it like that, but the fuel's really cheap for the travel.
Hey,
Like it's like half the price of what England is.
that's what's up.
So
Shout out oil companies.
We got that oil, baby.
that I think I've done since I've been in America. I've drove over 5,000 miles now.
Holy
I've been here
shit.
5 weeks.
God damn, dude, your ass must be sore.
I know.
Have you been? What are you rocking right now? What are you driving?
Oh, it's like
What's
a
the rental?
shitty Ford Focus.
Oh yeah.
I wouldn't mind it. Like I had the option to get a Mustang, but it was like
Oh,
an
yeah,
extra
that'd have been super American.
£1,000. But I'm going to be spending like already since I've been out, I've slept in the car for like 2 weeks.
Oh yeah.
So if I had a Mustang, that'd have been a pretty shit journey.
How have you funded this trip? What do you work like? What do you do when you're?
Well,
Back in Leeds.
it's classed as electrical engineering,
Oh, okay.
but it's more like small electrics, so like CCTV, fire alarms, like finger scanners, that sort of stuff.
Did you say Costa?
Costa?
What was the first word you said?
Classed as, sorry.
Classified, like it's
Classed as, like,
categorized as.
classified
Yeah, you
as.
know.
Talking about Costa coffee or something.
No.
Costa, hey dude, the
It's my
Costa. We
accent,
love
innit?
Costa, man. The Starbucks of the
Everyone
UK.
perked up there when I said
Oh,
Costa.
dude, watch this fucking dog because he's gonna knock the camera over. Jesus.
It's getting attacked.
Dude, his face doesn't make sense right now. He's so stoked to see everyone. He can't handle it. Shay cannot
Too
handle
much
it.
stoke.
Too much
Too
stoke.
excited.
This is my Dude, when we were training today, I saw 2 dogs that looked exactly like.
Yeah, there's a
Shay.
couple of boxers out there.
Well, we were talking about electrical.
Electrical
when I was
engineering.
back home.
Boys.
Yeah, I studied it was like in-house. So I did an apprenticeship for 3 years, I think it was total. And I've been doing the job 5 or 6 years now. But in England, we've got like a deficiency of electrical engineers.
Oh yeah.
So I've sort of got the option to walk in and out of jobs when I want.
Oh,
But
nice.
the last trip I did 8 months around Asia. And then I came back to the same job, but I quit and then I came back to the same one. And then I worked a year and I left again. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to go back to the same job again.
Yeah,
But there's plenty of work
still
there
a
for me.
shortage and there's plenty, right?
Yeah.
That's good. I mean, yeah, it's nice to have a valued trade like that like
Yeah.
is not going to go out of style anytime soon. If anything, there's going to be more demand, like you're saying.
I'm not sure if I'll be doing it all my life, but
Yeah. Do you have
It's
any
all right to
other
be off.
aspirations?
well, I actually like the idea, and this has come from psychedelics. I like the idea of going to Open University and studying psychology. So I'd quite like to be a therapist.
Oh, cool.
Just something that helps other people. To be honest, I don't really get any fulfillment from the job I do at the minute.
Yeah.
Like it's all right. I don't mind doing it. It's not like I wake up in the morning and think, oh God. But yeah, we'll see how it goes.
That's sick, man. Yeah, no, I think that's great that you want to help people and that you're striving for something a little bit more fulfilling. I think that's something we all have to continuously ask ourselves.
Yeah.
Is the position we're in, making us happy, challenging us in the right ways, meaningful in the right ways. And
you go to
people
school to do
are gonna
that?
need therapy too. Fuck's
Well,
sake.
the training was in house, so to be fair, the wage was so shit when I first started. I was on £2.50 an hour.
Oh my
So,
god, dude. I mean,
like
that's even with
300
the exchange rate. That's pure shit.
Yeah,
That's
it's
like
terrible.
$3 basically.
Yeah, it's pretty much $3.
Even if it was
yeah.
$5, like
So I was on
Jesus.
that for, luckily because there were a lot of jobs coming in, I was only on it for 7 months because then they started sending me out on my own. So they give me a van, started sending me to my own jobs. But even then they only put it up to like £5 an hour.
What?
Which is crap. But then a year after that, it was like tripled. So it's worth putting up with the shit times just for the good way. I mean, it helps so much for me to save money as well because I still live at home with my mum and dad. So I'd have to pay rent, I'd have to pay food. So the first trip I went around Asia, in a years of saving, I saved £10,000 up.
damn.
So I'd lived like a king in Asia.
Yeah.
So it was pretty good.
How much-
super cheap in England and everything?
No, well, luckily my mum buys the food and she doesn't mind it.
Okay.
Obviously, when I get back, I'll have to sort of get my own place and that. Now I've done the whole traveling, finding myself sort of thing.
Yeah. No,
now it's time
it gets
to
a little
sort of. But there's a big difference. Like in America, I was saying to you guys, everyone moves out so soon. In
Yeah.
England, it's like it's the norm to stay at home like 23, 24. It's just normal.
Yeah.
Because everyone saves money up and then puts money into a house when they move out.
It's
whatever.
odd. I don't know
just a
why we do
different
that to
sort of
ourselves in our
culture.
culture sometimes.
Like
you
most
know?
18-year-olds I meet out here just living on their own.
Yeah,
And
no,
it's ridiculous.
It's instantly like the people are getting kicked out of their places, or at least it's not even if they're not being kicked out. That's what's revered is like you should get out of the house. You should make something of yourself at 18,
Yeah.
and it's like,
Yeah.
What am I
fuck's
supposed to
sake,
do at
man! It's not
18?
easy to figure that out, and like for an 18-year-old, I mean, it's for some of them, it's going to make them for sure stronger.
Yeah, but
For
how many
a lot
does
of
it, how
them,
many
though,
people
I
does
don't
it
know that
break?
it's like
But it breaks loads of people.
It breaks loads of people for sure.
I don't know.
You know?
I feel like a lot of people are going to college too because there's always that like
Yeah.
strong push to go to college and strong push to move out of the house. Like either people move out of the house to like go to college or their parents are like, oh, you got to go get a job. And by that point you have money and you're like, all right, I'm just going to move out. Like,
Yeah,
yeah. I don't know. I've noticed like the parents were a lot more chill in England too. Like we would go over to people's houses and kind of throw little parties, but that would be kind of strange in America. Like my parents would not be down to have all my friends over just to like have a good time. It would just-
yeah.
It'd be a little weird. Like they would like leave the room and go like do something else. I don't even
Americans
know.
are uptight sometimes with
Yeah.
that, big time. Especially because I think it comes from that culture partially. Because if you bought into that and you worked your ass off for the last 40 years and you finally have like your house and all this nice shit and a big garage or whatever with like, your bushes are all nicely trimmed and like you finally like got like what everyone said that you wanted, then you're like, God damn it, these kids can't just come in here and
That's a shame, really, isn't it?
I don't know. It's odd. I think it'd be really like a lot nicer if people were a little bit friendlier to that and like acknowledging that kids. And I think it's fascinating too because I think it also is something that is the age that we're in. Is like I guess like kids used to get kicked out even earlier. Kids used to have to work out of like, you know,
definitely.
9 years old, right? And now it's like they're getting like the care, the amount of time that parents are caring for their children is being extended to
Imagine what it's like
into
when we
their
have
30s
kids.
and 40s.
It's getting to the point where like it's almost impossible to get a job because like algorithms or whatever running everything.
Oh my
So you
God.
don't even need. So how are you even supposed to explain that? Like how are you supposed to explain to a kid what working's like if when they get to the time they're supposed to start work, there's no jobs or there's no point in having a job.
Yeah, it's so strange. We're
It's
gonna
be
have to figure
such
this
a
out, man.
big gap between
We're
us.
gonna have to figure this out because there's gonna be. I mean, already I heard that the unemployment in at least the United States is like ridiculous. Like adults that are of working age, and again, that's kind of a weird term because that's going to change probably again, like we just said, over the course of generations. But right now, a number of people that are of working age, I heard, that aren't working is like over 50%.
What?
Which is
That's
insane.
crazy.
I mean, like I don't know where that statistic comes from. You have to like maybe double check me on that, but
Yeah,
it
but it's
is
still
like
high.
a lot of people. Well, and some people are, you know, I mean, you might fall into that category in our. Not you, sorry, but yeah, no, because you're working, but like, anyone that might live at home, like if they're doing, I guess if they don't have a job or if they don't have like a full-time job,
They're
they
still
might be
classed.
classified into that. It just kind of depends, but I don't know. It is fascinating because that stuff is on the horizon.
Yeah, it's a crazy time we're living in at the minute. I'm really glad I'm born at this time because it's like this is gonna be like the biggest sort of.
Shay, get the fuck
Biggest-
out of here with your goddamn ball. He's gonna knock the camera out. Watch his ass. Pull him away from there. Get out of here. Just get him almost just anywhere but there is good.
Yeah, just the shift we've seen at the minute. It's gonna be like I can imagine it's like what hunter and gatherers experienced when we went to agriculture.
Oh
Like
yeah.
the gap between the two is like what we're gonna experience when the technological revolution sort of kicks off. We're gonna be like just everything we know is gonna be obsolete. So it's a pretty interesting time to be alive.
Yeah. What
I
do
don't
you
know if
think
it's
happens?
Good or bad?
Do you have any theories?
I don't know. There's a lot in this little.
What's gonna happen to your kids when when there's no job for them out there, especially one that might be meaningful, right? I mean, or maybe they'll only be meaningful jobs because the robots will be doing all the day-to-day
Yeah.
bullshit.
Well, I'm hoping it goes towards the way of everyone gets when machines can run things on their own, that the algorithms can run. So the economy, everyone gets paid a basic,
The universal basic income.
basic income, and then everyone has time to concentrate on stuff that is more important than working, like
Yeah.
the climate or
Their communities.
yeah,
their
just
families.
making people feel better.
Yeah.
Just anything that's not working. But that's like maybe a bit too positive thinking.
Yeah, that's too many drugs, dude. That's the
Yeah.
psychedelics telling you that
That's
those
like
things are-
everyone's
they're gonna be
connected,
good.
spiritual
Yeah.
awakening shit.
You're wrong, bro.
Yeah.
Or we'll
Yep.
just end up with some like Black Mirror.
Oh
Thing
yeah,
going
some like
down.
dystopian
Yeah,
future where
shit.
Yeah, nobody's actually stoked ever
Oh,
because
man.
technology is controlling us.
we're gonna have to figure it out, man. Yeah, I'm fascinated by it. The time is insane right now.
Yeah.
Definitely.
That's it, gang. That's it. That's all. I mean, hey, you just go ponder that right
Yeah.
now.
We'll end
Just
on
go-
that one.
We'll end on that one. You know,
Big.
like I don't know what else to say. Like, we talked about psychedelics, we talked about the future, and we talked about some robots and stuff. But you know, that's what I love about this podcast. You thought we were
Don't know
going
what
to
you're
talk about parkour? Fuck that shit, son. We talked about Leeds a little bit, but
Yeah. Very
we
little.
got bigger fish to fry right now. The universal basic income is coming. What do you think
Hopefully.
what does the universal basic income need to be? Do you think?
I think it's gonna have to be like £1,000 a person a month, at least.
At least,
Livable.
yeah.
I could see that.
That's what I'm hoping
I
for.
think like what will be fascinating is like I don't know that survival of the fittest goes away ever, or at least like not for a while. I don't know how we solve that problem because we're always going to have people that are willing and wanting to apply themselves and
Yeah, that's the only
and
thing.
do some
How
harder
do you-
things. And
How do you like burn that out? Like, because people sort of lose me. That's where helping others will come in.
Yeah.
Hopefully, people like because some people lose meaning if they're at work. 'Cause
Yeah.
they spend what 40, 50 hours a week, most of their life working just for like an end goal, and then
Yeah.
when they realize that there is no end goal, that the whole journey is the goal, they're gonna be like, "Fuck, what do I do with my life?"
oh my god!
But then
right?
that's where like helping people or the climate, like that, all that sort of stuff comes in.
yeah.
People start pitching in for stuff that actually matters. But
I think our obstacle right now is that we have to get over our instincts, and what's biologically programmed into us is like not catered to yet.
Yeah, definitely.
Like we're not nurturing that desire to help people and help the environment and right now the way technology is set up is it's often drawing you into things opposite that or opposing forces where you're like you said, like just fucking work and get material goods.
Yeah, exactly.
Get get what your neighbor has, the dope, that Maserati.
I feel like social media also like
exactly
makes people depressed and stuff a lot of the time.
I mean, no doubt it's something that's like contributing to that, but we'll figure it out hopefully. Like I tend to be optimistic as well as I just
I feel like I have to be.
You kind of have to be, right?
It's definitely going to take a turn for the worst.
What else is what I mean? It's just illogical ultimately too to even hold the negative viewpoint in a way. It's just, even if you're fatalistic about it or whatever, it's just you might as well still be an optimist about it because either or.
What's the other option?
The other option is to feel shitty about it. So probably not a great idea to go with that one.
That will just make you depressed right away.
Oh man, yeah, I don't know. It's fascinating, a fascinating time, dude. I wonder how like it's all gonna pan out, and if what that balance is gonna look like. If we're gonna take this more adaptive approach, if we're gonna become more like the plants, maybe like these plants like become even more ubiquitous and more prominent and used amongst like the next generations, and people get more into these ideas and they get more into like the spirituality and the oneness, and then we're living like the avatars and fucking in that movie.
Hopefully.
Yeah,
Yeah, well, the fact that like people don't take psychedelics and stuff is because this is obviously a theory. It's because it does affect the economy. People just decide that they don't want to work their asses off and retire early or get to 60 and buy a nice house and go traveling. When people just realize they want to just enjoy the moment in front of them, it doesn't really help making money for the country, does it? Yeah. So when it gets to a point where you don't need to make money for the country, it's a good place to turn because you will be happy in the steps that you realize you don't need anything else. Yeah. If you're getting your money to live, taking hallucinogenics to realize that you just have to enjoy what's in front of you. Sounds like all right world to me.
Hey man, but what about the new iPhone and shit? You need that, dude. How else are you gonna be on top?
Yeah, this is why we need people that are against drugs, and then they can just work and keep the government going. Yeah. We'll have a good time.
Keep the government. Yeah, dude. Well, they're gonna rope as many of you guys into the worst kind of jobs too, is the other thing. Like, true. Or they're gonna. I don't know. Like, it's weird. They are opposing forces. It feels like in some way, but they are converging. Because I think even like the most brilliant minds right now of our age, they understand these things.
Yeah, definitely.
And like, I think it's important to revere those people, but not to demonize. It's tough though. It's so tough, dude. I don't know what I'm saying, but because you can't have people that, I don't know. There is like this component of human nature that you need
that thrives for more. Like we're never content, are we? I mean, we thrive to get more and more things.
Yeah. It's like that's what we're programmed to do, right? Is like,
so we need to sort of find a way to get rid of that idea.
Yeah. Or is that something we don't want to get rid of? You know, is there something like,
I feel like we're getting to the point now.
Like let's say we work on the environment, we work on connecting with each other. If we can't necessarily reach like a utopian state, maybe, right? Or even if we get to like what you might think is like the best thing you could come up with in your head, then what? Then what do we focus on?
Again,
right?
we strive for more.
Do we not have it? What are we gonna do? We go explore the universe, or like,
that's it.
Do we just go embrace our sense of adventure? I think that's like something that a lot of people are still interested in, and maybe we'll get like more into the astro.
Did you see the Elon Musk podcast with Joe Rogan?
I did.
When he was talking about the AI, I thought this guy's given up on humanity. He looked like he's ready. He's ready to just throw the towel in. He sees it's coming, and he's tried to tell people, and that's it. He's had enough.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, it's spooky.
He's like terrified of so many things, but he also is just making the world so much better.
In what ways do you mean? Like, what ways he's
just like all the technology and stuff that he's developing right now.
Yeah, I know.
He knows it's coming, doesn't
he? Yeah, man. He's really scared of the AI, right?
Yeah, very.
That future, that Matrix life.
You know what's crazy though is you were talking about how you have to be optimistic earlier,
Mm-hmm.
but I remember in that podcast he is like the exact opposite.
He's not
like,
optimistic whatsoever.
The world is fucked, and
what I mean is, what I mean by that is like even if you believe that, you might as well.
True.
Even if you can be rational, I think they're a little bit different. Is all I'm saying. Even if you think the world's fucked, that doesn't mean you should feel bad about it. Or like you should feel and act in a way that you might as well like try to live the best life and create the most good for you and others as you can anyways, in spite of that.
Definitely. But
you could still believe, and I think it's not even necessarily an irrational thing to think that like it all comes to a screeching halt somehow. But I don't know, it just
deep
seems
down everyone thinks that anyway. In the back of everyone's head, sort of, they know everything's going to come to an end at one point.
That's like one of the
one of the driving points for just
that's what
excess.
Maybe that's excess. What that drive for more. That's the only thing it's there for, is to keep you going.
Probably
in spite of that, right? It's like that. It's there's always those dualities. It's like they have to give you two pills. The red pill and the blue pill. If you don't have the drive, then you only have this one choice. You're like, we're fucked anyways, and then life becomes meaningless. If you don't have this worry that it's all going to come to an end, or like this belief that it might just die, then the drive is kind of useless in a way, like why would you even, I don't even know.
Well,
what are you striving for if you think that it's already all good?
That's pushed us to evolve, hasn't it, really, striving for more. Without it, then we won't really be here now. It's the reason we are what we are. So if you take that away, what do you have? What are you striving for then? Do we ever progress past what we are now? If you take away the idea that things will get better.
We'll evolve. We're gonna turn out of humans
sentient
into
beings.
this crazy alien creature.
Dude, I can't wait, man. Like I said, we're all gonna be hairless.
Okay, yeah.
Just super tall. Like that's the alien classic, right?
Yeah.
9 feet tall, just like 16
bald.
more vertebrae.
Lanky.
And like we're just super lanky. In fact, we barely have bones at that point. We're like kind of like we're just pure worm status, in a way. We regrow like limbs and stuff.
Collective
or maybe
conscious.
we've merged. It's like a nanotechnology and stuff. Who knows?
Yeah, we could be bionic.
Oh yeah, maybe.
That would be good.
Well, it's already happening now, isn't it? Really,
Yeah.
people like they're getting that good. But then when it gets to a point where the bionic stuff's better than the human stuff, then what's stopping people from just swapping it out? So if it becomes accessible, then why not just swap it out for a better version? If you know it's going to last you longer, you're going to live longer.
If they had a better knee right now for me, I'd take it.
Yeah.
But and then what? Then when you become not human, like what does that? Yeah, I mean, these are some super big questions that we're not probably going to figure out today.
I think about that with parkour. Like if you started getting bionic,
that's what I feel like.
Definitely.
It's like you can only jump so far until you get your next upgrade, and then you can like jump another foot further.
It takes the fun out of it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Well, I feel like almost that's what we're doing right now. Like, we're writing the program of parkour. If we're gonna download the parkour, the skill into the matrix, into like the robot version of you that you put your consciousness onto, it's gonna like be this amalgamation of all the video clips and stuff that's ever been put out, and like over the next few generations of parkour athletes, basically
just download
this is like the catalog of all movements that are possible. So
That'd be cool.
That's the contribution, hopefully.
Pioneers.
So everyone gets to know how to do this dope shit. But then again, like, I don't know.
That's the point.
Maybe you just the avatars all know how to do that, right? Almost.
Yeah.
They're all just gangster with their movement.
Yeah,
do the avatars have like a collective conscious?
I can't
remember the movie, but I think they might.
They share the spiritualness. They're breathing like dust, like little. Whatever,
they have sex by like touching their hair. Things
put their cords together with, and they're like, is it? Yeah, they have sex that way. They do it with the animals too.
Yeah,
sex with animals, really.
You could put that cord on lots of different shit.
It's creepy.
I want one of those, dude. I want a tail with a cord on it. I want a tail with little phalanges.
That's
appendages.
I don't like imagining that.
You don't?
You could come out your fingers.
It'll be the hand, dude. It'll just be your hand will open up, and you'll just
what that makes me think
people.
About?
What?
That skull video you showed us before this.
Oh my god, it was savage. Oh yeah, we saw some guys get his head ripped off, basically.
Intense.
Yeah. Damn, we got real philosophical on this one, boys.
Yeah.
I'm proud of you guys.
Yeah, right near that.
We kept it. I mean, hopefully you guys enjoyed the conversation. Is there any big projects you have coming up that we can like point the fans towards, or do you care? Do you have anyone you want to promote or plug?
I sort of dropped off the whole social media.
Yeah.
And I at one point, I don't know how to describe it, because sometimes it drives, like me personally, it makes me worse, like mentally worse when I think of, because sometimes I go training, I think, oh God, I ain't got a clip. And why am I even bothered about that?
Yeah.
I'm only going training because I enjoy training.
Yeah.
And then I sort of beat yourself up when you're not getting clips. So I just sort of dropped off a bit from the whole Instagram thing. I mean, I still post, but not religiously.
Yeah.
No projects.
Nice.
No main videos.
Yeah. No, if you're not called to it, I don't think. Yeah. I think that's the biggest thing. You got to do what you want.
Are you filming a video of this trip though?
No, I don't think so. Okay. I'll put some clips on Instagram, like of the places that I go, show people the spots and stuff. But yeah, I like the idea at first of coming to America and filming a big video, and like within the first few days, I was thinking, I don't think I've got it in me.
Yeah, definitely.
I just can't be bothered.
Yeah, man. Hey, I think you're right not to do it then, for sure. Tight, dude. Well, it was really good having you. It was really dope talking to you. I'm glad we got to discuss some of the stuff. I want to hear about your ayahuasca trip.
Oh yeah.
I want to hear about like.
Come back.
Yeah, dude. Let me know how the. I definitely want to hit up those Peruvian shamans as well one day.
Well, in like 6 months' time, when I post a picture on Facebook and I'm still in the rainforest,
you living amongst the trees,
wrapped in leaves.
Yeah,
he's found something serious going down there. He's there for good.
You're good. Yeah, you just never come back. Hey,
yeah.
Living amongst the trees.
Off the grid.
You could just become a monk or something.
Yeah, do you know, I actually really want to do that. Not become a monk, but like spend like 2-3 months volunteering at a monastery, like a Buddhist monastery.
Yeah.
I just like the idea of, I don't know, like the meditating, the stillness, I want to just learn the ins and the outs of, all these ancient traditions that have been going on. There's obviously some value to them. I wouldn't have carried all this time.
Seems like a pretty relaxed life, honestly.
So that might be one of the next trips.
Yeah.
Like 3 months in a Buddhist
there's so much to explore in the other direction, right? Yeah. Like Instagram is like this new thing, but like you said, like maybe you're better served just doing something that's more old school. There's so much, like there's literally thousands of years of history of cool things that you can learn about and explore that have at least been time tested a little bit more than.
That's what point I'm at, I think, at the minute.
Yeah.
Just traveling, experience some sort of like deep spiritual stuff. Not that I'm a spiritual person, but I mean, like the idea of experiencing some of it, or at least just knowing what it's about.
Yeah.
We'll see how it goes.
All right, boys.
All right.
Thanks for joining, man. Thanks.
No worries.
Get your spiritual journeys on out there, listeners. Dive into something. That's the challenge for the week. Yourself. Go learn about your fucking history and shit.
I feel like people will watch it.
Who are you?
He's a hippie.
Yeah.
He's a hippie.
Hey, we're all gonna become hippies, dude. We're all gonna get hippie. It'll be called hip drop after this. Much love, brothers. I'll see you guys soon.
Thank you.